Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman and Governor Raimondo. It's certainly great to see you, and congratulations on your nomination and your willingness to serve in this capacity. Certainly, I enjoyed our opportunity to talk at length on a number of these issues prior to this meeting. And among the many things that I learned, I was very pleased to know your very strong family connections to the state of Michigan from your husband. And all of your in-laws up in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and those Michigan roots that you have in your family are wonderful, and happy to hear that. And I also appreciate, and you've said, talked about the story again in today's hearing about your father's struggles related to manufacturing and the need for us to make sure that we have a strong manufacturing sector in this country. I know it's something that you feel very passionate about. And if this pandemic has taught us anything, it's that our domestic manufacturing and that our supply chains are vulnerable because we have not prioritized and coordinated manufacturing policy at the federal level in a way that we should. I believe you can't be a great country if you don't actually make things. And in order to do that, we need to lean in. Given the fact that although we have 58 different manufacturing programs within the federal government, they're spread out over 11 different federal agencies. There's duplication, there's wasted resources, and there isn't a singular vote. And when we talked earlier, I talked about legislation that I've proposed to create a National Institute of Manufacturing that would give that unified voice and that coordinated strategy that some of our main competitors, like South Koreans and Germany's, are engaged in, to allow us to compete effectively. It would establish a chief manufacturing officer, require a national strategic plan for manufacturing, and elevate National Manufacturing Council, something that has been basically defunct over the last 4 years under the Trump administration. Build out manufacturing.gov as a one-stop hub for small and medium manufacturers to get additional help to make sure that their businesses are as successful as possible, as well as create a national institute. So my question for you, Governor, is if confirmed as Secretary, will you commit with this committee and with me to elevate manufacturing policy generally, perhaps speak to that, as well as strengthening our industrial sector by addressing some of the items that I brought up?
So thank you for that question. I will wholeheartedly commit to should I be confirmed, using all of the strength and tools of the Commerce Department to do everything I can to bolster manufacturing. As I said, it's important to me. It's how I was raised. I've worked very closely as my time as governor with the Rhode Island manufacturers and would look forward to working closely with you as well.
Well, thank you for that. One of the big challenges facing smaller manufacturing industries and domestic producers is unfair trade from foreign governments. We have an issue in Michigan with our cherry growers. We're cherry capital USA, tart cherry producers, but they are facing significant unfair trade from Turkey. That's had a significant negative impact on their ability to produce, and quite frankly, it's an existential threat. I've introduced legislation to empower the Commerce Department to be more actively engaged in self-initiating enforcement actions to help smaller manufacturers, smaller producers like cherry growers. You know, in Michigan, we have cherry growers who are facing this competition, and in order to fight back, they had to raise millions of dollars to take the case forward. These are small growers that don't have the money to put up to do that because they're struggling just to their operation functioning, and they really need a partner. And I certainly believe that the federal government can be that partner for those industries that can't hire an army of lawyers and economists to fight these trade actions. I'm working on legislation, self-initiation legislation with Senator Burr, a bipartisan basis. And certainly, if confirmed, would love to have your commitment to work on how we strengthen our ability to push back on unfair foreign competition for our small industries, small manufacturers, and others that are being impacted by this activity.
Thank you for bringing it up. You brought it up the other day. I hear your passion to stick up for the cherry industry. Absolutely, we'll work with you. We'll also commit to making commerce more accessible to the small companies and farmers, and work with Secretary Vilsack to do that. I think, as I told you, every year on his birthday, I make my husband a cherry cake with Michigan cherries. So on this one, you had me in hello.
Well, that's wonderful, Governor. Thank you for your answers.